Key concept of biological evolution. Key terms and their meanings. 1. Evolution. The change in the heritable traits of biological populations over successive generations. 2. Natural selection. A process where organisms better adapted to their environment tend to survive and produce more offspring. 3. Adaptation. A trait that increases an organism's chances of survival and reproduction in a specific environment. 4. Speciation. The formation of new and distinct species in the course of evolution. 5. Mutation. A change in the DNA sequence of an organism, which can lead to genetic diversity. 6. Genetic drift. Random changes in allele frequencies within a population, often having a more pronounced effect in small populations. 7. Gene flow, migration. The transfer of genetic material between populations, which can affect variation and evolution. 8. Fossil record. The preserved remains or impressions of organisms from the past that provide evidence of evolution. 9. Common ancestor. The most recent ancestral form or species from which two different species evolved. 10. Selective pressure. Environmental factors that favor certain phenotypes over others. 11. Fitness. The ability of an organism to survive and reproduce in its environment. 12. Phylogeny. The evolutionary history and relationship of an organism or group of organisms. 13. Homologous structures. Anatomical features that are similar in structure but different in function, indicating common ancestry. 14. Analogous structures. Features that perform similar functions but are not derived from a common ancestor. 15. Convergent evolution. The process where unrelated species evolve similar traits due to similar environmental pressures. 16. Divergent evolution. The accumulation of differences between closely related populations, leading to the formation of new species. 17. Artificial selection. The intentional breeding of organisms to promote desired traits. 18. Vestigial structures. Reduced or non-functional parts of an organism that are remnants of its evolutionary past. 19. Microevolution. Small-scale evolutionary changes within a population over a short period. 20. Macroevolution. Large-scale evolutionary changes that result in the formation of new species or groups. 21. Cladogram. A diagram depicting the evolutionary relationships among species based on shared characteristics. 22. Extinction. The end of an organism or group of organisms, often due to environmental changes or competition. 23. Coevolution. The process by which two or more species influence each other's evolutionary path. Wallace, Alfred Russel Wallace. 1. Biogeography, the study of the geographic distribution of species, which Wallace used to support evolutionary theory. 2. Wallace Line, a biogeographical boundary that separates distinct species distributions in Asia and Australia. 3. Co-discovery, Wallace independently formulated the theory of natural selection alongside Darwin. 4. Warning coloration, the use of bright colors in animals to signal toxicity or danger to predators. Pre-Darwinian thinkers. 1. Aristotle, Scala Naturae, the great chain of being, an early hierarchical concept of life forms progressing from simple to complex. 2. Carl Linnaeus, developed the modern system of taxonomy, binomial nomenclature, laying the groundwork for evolutionary comparisons. 3. Erasmus Darwin, Charles Darwin's grandfather, who speculated on the gradual evolution of species in zoonomia. 4. Robert Chambers, authored Vestiges of the Natural History of Creation, an early speculative work on transmutation of species. Post-Darwinian thinkers. 1. Gregor Mendel. His work on inheritance in pea plants introduced the concept of genetics, crucial for the modern synthesis of evolution. 2. Thomas Huxley, Darwin's bulldog, defended Darwin's ideas and explored human evolution in works like Man's Place in Nature. 3. Ernst Haeckel, known for his recapitulation theory, ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny, and contributions to evolutionary trees. 4. Hugo de Vries, proposed the mutation theory of evolution and rediscovered Mendel's laws. 5. Sewell Wright, introduced genetic drift, emphasizing random changes in gene frequencies within small populations. Other influential thinkers and concepts. 1. Uniformitarianism. Charles Lyell. The principle that the Earth's features result from long-term processes still observable today, influencing Darwin. 2. Catastrophism. Georges Cuvier. The idea that Earth's history has been shaped by sudden, short-lived, violent events. 3. Population pressure. Thomas Malthus. The concept that population growth outpaces resources, influencing Darwin's thinking on competition. 4. Mutation. Hugo de Vries. Sudden changes in an organism's genetic material, later recognized as a driver of evolution. 5. Synthetic theory. The modern synthesis combining Darwin's natural selection and Mendelian genetics. Core concepts and developments. 1. Punctuated equilibrium. Stephen Jay Gould and Niles Eldredge. The theory that evolutionary changes occur in rapid bursts followed by long periods of stasis. 2. Endosymbiotic theory. Lynn Margulis explains the origin of eukaryotic cells as a result of symbiosis between separate single-celled organisms. 3. Gene flow. The transfer of genes between populations, maintaining genetic diversity. 4. Hardy-Weinberg principle. A mathematical model showing that allele frequencies remain constant in the absence of evolutionary forces. 5. Sexual selection. Proposed by Darwin, focusing on how traits influence reproductive success, such as peacock feathers or antlers. Pioneers in genetics and molecular evolution. 1. Theodosius Dobzhansky, authored Genetics and the Origin of Species, integrating genetics into evolutionary theory. 2. Ronald Fisher, developed the mathematical foundation of natural selection and introduced the concept of fitness landscapes. 3. J.B.S. Haldane, contributed to population genetics and the role of selection in gene frequency changes. 4. Mitsuo Kimura, introduced the neutral theory of molecular evolution, emphasizing the role of genetic drift over natural selection in some cases. 5. Watson and Crick, discovered the DNA double helix, providing a molecular basis for inheritance and evolution. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to ANTHRONET Academy.